Hey guys, so today we're going to be breaking down the new units coming in part 2 of Dragon Ball Legends 5th anniversary, the superhero leg of the celebration. So as I did with part 1, I'm actually going to be doing a video individually on each of these characters. So for this video, we're going to be breaking down Orange Piccolo, just starting with the big guy himself. And then I think we're going to move into the Gammas for the next video, and then we'll sort of go in order from there. It looks like there's actually no new EXs for these banners. Remember, these banners are split into two banners. We have Orange Piccolo and Gohan, and then we have the Gammas and Magenta on the other banner. Very rare to get banners that have no new EXs, but honestly, we're getting 4 Sparkings for part 2. I'm okay with not getting new EX characters. That would have just been reskins of old units anyway. So let's go ahead and jump into our look at Orange Piccolo. Now, here's the thing with this character. This is a reviving character. I feel like in the past, people have quickly judged revival characters to be not as good as they actually are. So I would imagine that's probably going to be similar to what we see here from a lot of the community. So just keep that in mind when you see people saying stuff like, wow, this guy actually doesn't look that good, etc., etc. People still don't think Revival UI Goku is good. Just beyond my comprehension. Maybe they're on a different plane of existence. They're just a higher. They're on a higher level of thinking than me, I guess, is why they think that. But whatever. Let's go ahead and jump in here. We have, of course, Reviving Power Awakening Piccolo. Now, again, I'm going to click this Display Maximum Stats button. It is going to take into effect the Arts Boost system, but it's not going to take into effect the title boost. We have to sort of like back out our way through this. So let's go ahead and click. So he's up to 266,000 strike. So here's what we got to do. We got to subtract 13,000 from each of these stats, and then we got to add the title boost, which I usually like to do like 5,000 or so. So this Piccolo pre-transformation is looking probably around like, what is that, 258-ish strike attack. And then I guess it would be, so let's just, I guess that's subtracting 8,000. So he'd be at like 258 strike, 251 blast. And then you're probably looking at something like mid 160s to defenses. But remember, this is a reviving, transforming unit, so he's going to have better stats once he's transformed. Let's just get this out of the way now. What are his stats post-transformation? So he's at 284 strike. So he'll be like mid 270s for strike attack, which is really good. And his blast is not that far behind. Defensively, he's looking pretty good as well. He's going to be in the mid 170s. Yeah, he's looking pretty good. By the way, this is definitely a character that I am highly considering giving my Arts Boost material to. In fact, I'll just say right now that I think I probably am leaning towards giving this guy the Arts Boost material, because this is literally my most anticipated release of the year, Orange Piccolo. I've been waiting for this all year, so I don't really see a better character to give the Arts Boost material to be my first fully maxed out unit. All right, so obviously he's from sagas from the movies. He's on the regen tag. He's on the Super Warrior tag as well. Double strike cards. So impact, normal strike, normal blast. The blue card is the explosive demon wave. So it's a blast armor, melee based blue card, massive explode damage. 20% of special move damage inflicted for 3 timer counts upon activation. Draws a special arts card next on hit. So this is, I guess, in theory, a very similar blue card to the LF Blue 17. It's kind of like a melee version of the Blue 17's blue card, except you have to actually land the blue card, whereas the 17's, he just grabs the green card whenever you use the blue card. So that's interesting. So this Piccolo's green card, he gets 30 ki, 20% damage for 10 counts, 30% to special move damage, and that's a permanent buff. Cannot be canceled, activates once. By the way, so basically what they're telling you is they want you to use the green card before transforming, before reviving, because this buff should carry over to the post-revival form. This should carry over to Orange Piccolo. The 30% special move damage buff. It's permanent. Then he gets card draw speed for 5 counts. Now, I normally would be kind of disappointed that he's only getting card draw speed for 5 counts, but we already know that he's getting card draw speed base. So this is going to be double card draw speed. Right, so that's good. Applies attribute upgrade, shorten sub count by 3. It's a self for 10 timer counts, which is, of course, a very powerful and valuable ability considering that he is a reviving character. Okay, So his main ability prior to reviving is draws a special arts card next. So he actually force draws the green card from his main ability again, which is very good because you want to be able to get in the green card buff for this character before he transforms. 50 key, he gets 30% damage inflicted for 20 counts, restores allies other than this character's health by 15%, and then 15% damage inflicted by allied tag sagas from the movies, regen, or super warrior other than this character. This is like really similar to Revival Gohan's main ability. In fact, I'm gonna pull him up just because I want to see exactly what his is. This is really similar to Purple Revival Gohan's main ability. So Purple Revival Gohan's main ability also draws a green card. It heals the enemy. It heals it heals the enemy team. It heals the ally team by 20%. Gives a 15% damage buff to allies, and then it gives him a 15% special move damage. Yeah, dude, this is like almost identical to this Gohan's main. The only difference is this Piccolo grabs the key. He gives himself damage as well. Yeah. Okay. I mean, that Revival Gohan's main ability before he transforms is really well designed and still really good right now, so I don't really have an issue with this. Z ability is 38% to movies, regen, or super warrior, strike attack, and defense. So of course he's a melee type character, so it makes sense. And then he's giving an additional 18% to blast attack to regen. All right, the first unique ability here is he revives to Orange Piccolo with 100% HP, which is not common for revival units. You usually don't see them revive with full HP. Applies the following effects to self when battle starts. So he gets 80% damage, he gets 50% reduced damage received, and then he gets -5 to arts cost and 50% to key recovery. This is definitely a thing that I think a lot of people look over this and don't really understand how valuable this is just having some sort of like base key recovery. Like a lot of characters that don't have just like, 50% key recovery or 70% key recovery in their kit, in their unique abilities, it is very noticeable how much less key restoration they have when trying to do long combos. So I'm really glad that this Piccolo does have this. By the way, notice the wording on this. Applies the following effects to self when battle starts. That means that these effects will carry over post-revive. This character is going to be retaining the 80% damage, the 50% reduced damage received, the -5 arts costs, and the 50% 2 key recovery post-transformation. Just keep that in mind. That's all I'm saying. Just remember this. Applies the following effects to self when this character enters the battlefield. So he gets 25 key, 30% strike damage inflicted for 20 counts, and then he cancels own attribute downgrades after enemy attack is over. Activates 5 times. That is really, really good against characters like Rose that just continue to inflict like bleed and poison and stuff like that. So that is very nice to have. I actually think transforming Red Cell has a similar ability to that, and it actually is really noticeable. All right, so he has a cover change against strike cards, which of course is comboable with the blue card, which would then mean that you draw a green card, right? So remember how that worked. He guaranteed draws the green off of the blue, so. Applies the following effects to enemy when changing cover. So when this character switches in on a cover change, he gives -2 card draw speed for 5 counts. That is really strong. We don't really see units inflict -2 card draw speed that often. In fact, I don't even remember off the top of my head if there's anybody that does that just normally. I think like Kyoei can do that depending on the situation, but this is just every single time he cover changes, he applies this. That's really powerful. And not only does he do that, he also decreases the arts power for strike, blast, and special moves. So yeah, that's a strong ability. Applies the following effects to self from battle start until transformation. So of course, based on the wording, these do not carry over to post-transformation. 40% damage. He reduces damage received by an additional 10% for 60 counts. And then he gets card draw speed, there it is, for 60 counts. And then he also has this effect down here, shortens own sub count by 5 when enemy activates Rising Rush, which of course is going to pair really well with the green card effect of reducing his sub count by 3. So if you have that green card effect active, and then you switch out to another character, and then they rush like right away, you're probably going to be able to switch back into Piccolo immediately. Just eat the rush and revive. So this is a really nice anti-Rising Rush revival character already here. So let's just count this here. So we have 80% damage. He's getting 30% strike damage. So it's 110%. Then he's getting 40% here. So he's basically starting out prior to the transformation with 150% damage. He's getting card draw speed. He has conditional double card draw speed with his green card. He's stacking up special move damage. Yeah, this guy's looking pretty damn good. And he's ideally getting 30% from the main ability, and he's supporting and he's healing. Looking good so far. All right, let's go to the post-transformation here. So now he gains some effects on his strike and blast cards. So the strike has blast armor now, which is nice. Inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade plus 10% to strike damage received for 10 counts, and that is both on the strike and the blast card. The blue card becomes the Demon Triple Kick, deals massive impact damage, and applies the following effects to self upon activation. 30% to special move damage inflicted for 3 timer counts, and then he gives himself the minus 20% to enemy sustained damage cut effects, and then of course nullifies endurance, and the LF will be based off of the blue card because he is a transforming character. They typically don't give ultimates to transforming characters. The green card is the Demon Blast Fist. So this is actually a counter. This green card works the exact same way that like the transforming yellow Jiren's does, the LF blue Gogeta's green card. So it's the same thing. It counters tap attacks and strike arts. So upon activation, he gets the key and the damage inflicted. So even if you like miss the counter, you're still able to get these buffs. Hopefully this has a short animation like the transforming Jiren's green card, because that actually, like, I've been caught off guard before where like I wasn't expecting the opponent to use the green card, and the animation finishes and they are able to dodge before I can even like take advantage of them being wide open. That's how fast the animation is. So I think this Piccolo's counter animation should probably be the same length as that, but we'll see. For a short period of time, yes, it's for a short period of time. I think that's probably the same wording that Jiren has. Counter will activate upon enemies' melee tap actions or strike arts while in the fighting pose. Applies the following effects to self when counter activates. He gets a strike card. This is actually really important, I think. He nullifies enemies' destroy card effects. So, for example, I made this example yesterday. I talked about this yesterday in my initial breakdown video. If the enemy is using like Future Gohan, LF Future Gohan, who historically, again, destroys 2 cards when he cover changes, if this Piccolo lands his counter and the enemy cover changes with LF Future Gohan, that card destruction will not impact his character. He won't have his cards destroyed. That is really strong considering that he has cover null as well for 10 counts. Yeah, this is a really, really powerful green card counter. Really, really strong effect here. Okay, main ability. Draws a blue card next, restores on health by 25% and ki by 50. And then he gets shortened sub count by 2 to self, so that's a permanent buff. So instead of having 10 sub counts, he's going to have 8. And then he applies buff effect, nullifies enemy special actions that activate when changing cover to self for 10 counts. So he grabs cover null for 10 counts on the main ability as well. So he has multiple instances where he's getting cover null. Obviously, every time you land the green card counter, he's getting it. And then whenever you feel the need to use the main ability, you can pop that and grab cover null as well. So actually, he's looking pretty similar in certain ways to the Transforming Jiren from part 1. Transforming Jiren does have a similar... Obviously, Transforming Jiren is a transforming character, much like this character. Transforming Jiren has a melee-based counter, like Piccolo does here. Transforming Jiren gets cover null on his main ability, much like this Piccolo does. So there's a lot of similarities, I think, between Transforming Jiren and this Piccolo, which is actually good, because that Transforming Jiren is very good. So... okay, so unique ability, he nullifies paralysis, which is really good against, of course, Hercule. I haven't really seen many Hercules running around recently. Of course, it's also really good against Rose as well. Applies the following effects to self after transforming. Remember, I'm going to just bring this up one more time. Remember, these effects carry over post-transformation. So whatever we're about to take a look at here, he already has 80% damage inflicted, 50% reduced damage received, -5 to arts cost, and 50% to ki recovery. I feel like a lot of people who are looking at this character don't understand that these effects are carrying over to the post-transform version. So, he's getting his unique gauge buffed by 50%, just starting out with 50% of his unique gauge. He's getting 80% damage, that's already, stacking up on top of the already 80% that he has. Then he's getting an extra 15% reduced damage received on top of the 50%. Then he's getting arts card draw speed just permanently for one level. And then he's getting minus 20% to enemy sustained damage cut effects. And he cancels abnormal conditions. So when you transform with this character, if he's, afflicted by, I mean, it's probably going to be pretty tough to be afflicted by abnormal conditions because you remove them all when the enemy attack is over, right? But yeah, that's again, he's basically starting with 160% damage with the penetration as well and card draw speed. Applies the following effects to self when this character enters the battlefield. He gets 35 ki, and then he gets 30% to strike damage. So now it's like up to 190 damage with the, by the way, with these stats, just, in case you guys forgot, just point this out. Nullifies own unfavorable element factors for damage sustained for 5 counts when an enemy uses a strike blast, special move, awakened, or ultimate arts while this character is on the battlefield, activates once, and then it resets whenever he switches out and then comes back in. So this is going to be an effective tool, I think, for a cover change. Like, it's not going to be something where you're in neutral and, the enemy gets priority and then like, oh, you're type neutral, so he's not going to be able to do damage, because most of the time, you and the opponent are exchanging multiple arts cards before somebody's able to start a combo. And it says when the enemy uses their strike, blast, special move, awakened, or ultimate arts cards. So a lot of times you're not going to get much value out of this type neutrality defensively if you're in neutral with Piccolo. So to me, this more so is a tool for this character to be using in a cover change situation. Cancels own attribute downgrades after enemy attack is over, activates 5 times. It's the same thing that he had pre-transformation. So this guy's basically just never going to be afflicted by attribute downgrades. Or actually, no. Abnormal conditions and attribute downgrades are different. So he's not going to be able to clear the abnormal conditions, I guess. It's just attribute downgrades. Okay. Sealed power set free is the next unique ability. So, of course, he maintains his cover change against strike cards, which is comboable with the blue card. Applies the following effects to enemy when changing cover. This actually gets a little bit stronger. So the -2 card draw speed is the same, but if we take a look and compare this to the pre-transformed version, he's reducing arts power by 10% for strike and blasts, and 20% for special moves and ultimates, whereas post-transformation, it gets bumped up to 15% and 25%. So that's pretty significant, I think. All right, so here's his unique gauge. We're going to have to test this out in game to really see how this unique gauge works, but it looks like it's pretty similar to Ultra Broly's unique gauge. Charges own unique gauge every time when hit with an enemy's arts attack while this character is on the battlefield. So, I mean, it charges up the same way as like Sword of Hope Trunks, Ultra Broly, or Ultra Gogeta Blue. The following effects occur once unique gauge is full. So the way it's worded is it sounds like you just have your unique gauge at full, and that's it. Like you fill it up. And by the way, remember, it starts at 50%. Increases unique gauge by 50%. So you start at 50% of your unique gauge when you transform. And just based off of the wording here, it sounds like you fill it up once and then it's full forever. So I guess that's how it works. I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to see. So he gets 20% healing, 30% of special move damage inflicted permanently. Remember, he's carrying over the blue card buff from the prior form if you use the green card. -15 own special move arts cost, which is also a permanent buff. So he's going to have 35 cost blue cards. Nullifies own unfavorable element factor for 15 counts, which does not specify defense only. So that's also, if you're fighting like a purple unit with this character, he's going to be type neutral against them for 15 counts. Cancels own abnormal conditions, destroys all of your enemy's cards, reduces enemy ki by 50, reduces enemy's Dragon Balls by 1, and then seals all enemies' main abilities for 10 counts. So basically, you render them useless. Think about it. Think about this. You destroy their entire hand, you reduce their ki, you destroy their Dragon Balls, and then you lock their main ability. they just can't do anything. The only thing that this doesn't do is remove their vanish. That's pretty much it. But that's Piccolo. I mean, he seems pretty powerful. Remember, this is a reviving character, so he has a lot of utility. And I think they did a good job with this kit design as well. So we'll have to test him out and see how good he looks here. But that's going to be the breakdown video for Orange Piccolo. I will go ahead and do the breakdown video for the Tag Gamma character next, and then we'll jump into the remaining 2 units after that. Let me know down below what you guys think of Orange Piccolo. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all in the next one.